What if I told you that your next big idea is already sitting in your notes, just waiting to be discovered? Imagine an AI that doesn't just summarize your thoughts, it really understands them. An AI that connects your scattered files, random research, and half-finished projects, and brings them all together to create something entirely new with and for you. We've spent years collecting ideas. Now AI can finally help us connect them. This isn't just another productivity tool, it's your second brain, your creative co-pilot, and your digital collaborator all rolled into one. Hi, I'm Jessica with the Real AI Agents, and today I want you to step into the network with me so that we can go explore Google notebooklm together. Ready? Let's go. When we talk about AI tools, it's easy to think of them as abstract, floating somewhere between data and design. But inside the Real AI Agents network, every tool tells a human story. And sometimes the best way to understand what AI can do is to actually see it in action. Meet Maya, one of our newest Real AI agents. She's not a developer or a data scientist, she's a student. And like most of us, she just wants to learn faster and smarter.
Hi, I'm Maya. Like a lot of students, I want to feel confident before classes even start. I've got the syllabus, a few articles, and my notes, but I don't want to waste hours figuring out what to focus on first. That's where notebooklm comes in. I can upload all my materials, my course syllabus, articles, and even my handwritten notes and let the AI organize it into something that makes sense. Once everything's uploaded, I can ask it questions about my materials, create summaries, and even get suggestions on what topics might be the most important for my first week. It's like having a study partner who doesn't just repeat facts, but connects ideas, helping me see how everything fits together. So now, instead of feeling overwhelmed before the semester even begins, I feel like I'm already ahead. Here's Jessica to show you exactly how we did it.
To hop on over into Google's notebooklm. You can find that at notebooklm.google. And once you click on that, you're going to see this Try notebooklm here. It is a free service to use right now, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. You can see all the notebooks that we have down here, but we're going to create a new one so that Agent Maya can have all of her information ready to go for those first couple weeks of class. So let's go ahead and create a new notebook here. And you can see that you can add sources here. You can add them from your Google Workspace. You can do a link from a website or a YouTube, or you can copy paste in here. So we're actually going to do some PDFs for this first example, but later on in the video, we'll talk more about websites and YouTube videos here. So you can see that we can bring into 50 sources. So what I've done is I've compiled some example documents over here. We've got a syllabus for her class. We've got a little bit of resource information here on what she'll be studying. We've got some fictitious notes from the first couple of weeks of class that we can use. We've got her mind map notes, and we've got a reflective essay homework piece that she's written for the class. So I've got all of those downloaded. So all I have to do is bring those directly in here and drop them off, and you'll see that they're each uploaded individually here now as the sources, and it is already starting to process what those sources are here. So I can type in something down here very easily, like give me a breakdown of the syllabus, and you'll see that as soon as I send that over, it is starting to generate now that breakdown of the syllabus for me. And it tells me everything I need to know about Maya's class right here. Now we know that Maya has a mind map document that she's already using in here. So what we're gonna do is we're going to uncheck these other resources, and we're going to leave number 3, that's her mind map document here, checked. So now we know that it's going to use source 3 when it develops this mind map. And you see all I have to do is click this button right here, and you can see that it's generating that mind map for me right over here. And it's already done, took under a minute there, and I've got the beginning of the mind map that I can add to as I go. So you see, it starts with the learning network, and then it kind of tells a little bit about what that learning network looks like. Each one of these little arrows will produce a new branch on the mind map. So you can see if I hit this here, we get another branch out, same here, and I can continue on. You can zoom in, zoom out, as long as there is an arrow to continue with. So you see I got 4 deep in this one. And there we go. We have a mind map all set for her to work off of here. You can easily download that with this little download button right up here if you'd like. And you can close it just by hitting this little 2 arrows up here. Now you can see that you may have some questions as you're going. There are also templated questions down here based on the sources that you gave it. So I could click one of these and it would answer those questions for me, along with the custom questions that you can type right on in there. You'll see that with everything that it puts together, if you roll over the little number next to the source that it has here, it tells you what source was used and where it found that information. This is perfect when you're using your own notes because you can refer back and see what it is that you put in there. So there you have it on the basic creating a notebook off of the notes and information that you have created from PDFs. Now let's get into some of the more in-depth stuff you can do with this tool. And while Maya explores how notebooklm helps students organize and understand complex material, another one of our real AI agents is taking that same idea and applying it to the frontier of creativity itself. Let's step into the network and meet Lena.
Hello, I'm Lena. I focus on the creative applications of AI research. Today, I'm uploading a few sources on generative AI and digital creativity. notebooklm automatically pulls in key topics, highlights, and summaries from each. Once the sources are uploaded, I can interact with them directly, asking questions, drawing comparisons, or summarizing perspectives. It's like having a conversation with my entire research library in real time. notebooklm's AI overview gives me instant summaries and quick insight into each article. From how artists use AI to augment their work to ethical debates about authorship and originality. What used to take hours of note-taking and cross-referencing now feels alive, a living network of ideas that I can navigate instantly. Each connection unlocks new ways to think about art and AI. That's what makes this tool so powerful. It doesn't replace creativity, it expands it. With notebooklm, our ideas don't just live on the page, they connect through the network. Back to you, Jessica.
All right, now to show you how we can use website sources along with PDFs to create some really in-depth information guides and documentation here. All you have to do is come in and hit create new again. And this time, instead of uploading our PDFs alone here, we're gonna come down and do this link to website. So you'll notice once you click that, you can actually put in multiple URLs at once. You just separate them either with a space or a new line. So I'm gonna throw in some sources here that I found online just about different generative AI takes on the psychology behind this art form and what's going on in the creative brain while using tools like generative AI. So I've put those in here, and just to show you, once I insert them, you're going to see that they're all uploaded except this one right here at the end. You'll notice that it is red and there's a little exclamation point here. So if we scroll over there, we can see that this source is actually behind a paywall. So that means that you have to subscribe to this website in order to have free access to go through all of the articles that they have and all of that stuff. So you can either remove that as a source, or if you're a paying member, you can actually go ahead and copy and paste the text in separately. But once you get all of those uploaded, you're gonna see that you've got a couple of options. We've already talked about how you can ask questions and do the mind mapping. So now that we know that all of those website sources have been pulled in here, and it's got an overview of the sources and the summary coming on here, I'm going to go ahead and just let it answer some of the auto-generated questions down here. And while it's thinking through all of that stuff, I'm going to come over and we're going to take a look at the reports here. So you can see it gives you quite a few options for what you would like to create out of this report. So you've got to create your own. You have a briefing doc, a study guide, and a blog post. And then you've got some other suggested formats here. So let's go ahead and we'll start with a briefing doc, And you can see it generating here based on those 9 sources. Now remember, it's only using the information from those sources, so I haven't put any of my own PDFs in here yet. But let's go ahead and also see if we can write a blog post together with these sources. And then we'll also do an explanatory article here. As those are generating, we can come back and we can take a look here at some of the questions it was answering for us, so we can see what are the core ethical, legal, and psychological implications of generative AI art. And you can see where it's broken that down now and again. If I scroll over here, it will tell me the sources on there. Of course, it's always good to go in and double check and make sure everything is matching up correctly that you're seeing when it comes to sourcing if you're using this information in something more technical. We can see now that the generative AI briefing doc has been created. So if I click here, I can come in and I can see a complete breakdown of the information that it has taken and processed out of those resources that I've given it over here, those websites. So you can see how your ability for like endless knowledge is insane when it comes to using the Google Notebook LM for putting together these reports. I mean, this is just a briefing doc done in here in a matter of maybe a minute, 30 seconds. So we can come in and create a custom report here. All we have to do is select the language and then describe the report that you want to create. So if we go ahead and I'll say something like, I want a breakdown of the economic and societal effects we can expect to see by 2030 because of generative AI capabilities. We'll go ahead and generate that, and you can see that it's now generating that report here. And the other articles that we were waiting on are done here. So we've got an explanatory article where it combines all of those sources together. And again, I can copy this with formatting if I want by hitting this button up here. You can also share this report. So if you come up here to share, you can directly add people by using their email, or you can go ahead and create a link and determine if you want it to be everyone with a link or a restricted link when you share it. We can also see here that it did the blog post for us. So this is a blog post where personally, I don't recommend just taking these blog posts and copy and pasting them. I think it's important to go in and do some specific tweaking on these to make sure that they are your own wording and exactly what you're trying to convey based on what you're using this blog for. It's also important to add your graphics and other backlinks and things like that that you need for a blog instead of just copying and pasting. But you can see this is a great sounding board for what your blog article might actually look like when you're finished with it. So it gives you a great flow, a great kind of diving board, if you will, into a real masterpiece of a blog that can really help you when it comes to branding your content. We're just waiting on this last source here, and then we're going to check out what Maya was able to do with creating some flashcards and study guides to help her reach her maximum learning capabilities. So here we go. That final one that we asked it to put together is done for us, that generative AI by 2030. You can see it's an analysis of economic and societal transformation. And if we come in, we can see it starts off by talking about how in the 2020s, how it's really been defined as a rapid emergence of generative AI, and how transformative and disruptive it's been. It talks about the productivity paradox here. It talks about the labor market disruption and the future of creative professions here. Really gives you an in-depth breakdown on exactly what I asked it to put together for me. So you can see where no matter how you learn, these reports can really help you put something together that can help you take a random website and really break it down into something that matters to you and that helps you understand exactly what it is you're reading and how it can apply to your life or your business or the class you're studying.
Let's jump back into my notebook, and Jessica will show you how to create some study material that will help make sure I understand the concepts I am learning. This is a real game changer when it comes to test preparation in the age of AI.
So you'll notice that all of the PDFs that we had uploaded in here, everything is the same way it was when we left it. So what we're gonna do now is go ahead and come over to the flashcards here, and you can see it's generating flashcards based off of the 5 sources that we pulled in. We're also going to go ahead and have it generate a quiz here, and we're gonna come into the reports and we're gonna do a study guide here. So let's come in and take a look here. We've got our learning quiz, our learning flashcards. So let's start with the flashcards. You can see here that it's going to ask you questions, kind of like having a study buddy without needing to have a second person there. So what is the name of the course described in the syllabus? So I think it was 301 neuroscience something, I don't remember. See, answer, neurodesign 301, the science of learning in the age of AI. Okay, so who is the instructor for the class? You can see where this is a great way to already get Maya's mind thinking about the things she definitely needs to know for this class in order to do well. And all you have to do to see the answer is hit that see answer if you're confused by something. So for example, according to the syllabus, what's the core exploration of Neurodesign 301 course? We can see here that the answer is how humans learning interacts with artificial intelligence and digital creativity systems. Let's say I'm a little bit hazy on exactly what that means. I can come here and ask it to explain the flashcard. When I do that, it's going to populate over here in the chat. So remember, this is the studio over here. This is the chat. So we can see that it is breaking down exactly what that means for me and where it found those things in the PDF resources that we had given it. So now if we come back, now that we've looked at these flashcards here, we can come in and we can check out this study guide. So we can see it breaks down short answer quizzes here. It gives you an answer key so that you can check yourself. It's got essay questions if you want to write essays based on those questions, or if you want to give it these prompts and have it develop these essays for you just to help you dive deeper into the topics. That is definitely an option as well. It's got a glossary of key terms here. I mean, perfect. Like, we used to have notebooks full of highlighted material, you had to lug them around, put them in your lockers, all this stuff. It's right here ready for you inside of notebooklm whenever you need it to grab it, whether you're a student, a business professional, or someone who just likes learning. This is such a handy tool to have in your toolbox. Amazing. So if we come back and we come into the learning quiz, we can see here that we can actually take a quiz based on the material that we gave it as well. So it says, according to the Cognitive Science Review article, adult neural plasticity can increase by up to what percentage when learning occurs in multimodal environments? I'm just going to take a random guess here and say 27. We can see that that was not right. So it told me it was not right, and it also told me the right answer. And again, if I needed more of an explanation, I could come in and do the explain here. We do next. And I really don't know because this was a fictitious document that was created anyway, and I didn't actually read it, but we can see again how it will tell me which of the answers is correct. And we can see that there's 10 questions here. So you can see where bringing in your own notes from a class that you've been taking and putting it in here can really be super helpful from the perspective of a student eager to learn.
Speaking of learning, let's head back into my notebook and Jessica will show you how you can create audio and visual files to help you decipher and learn more about the resources in your notebook.
Now let's jump back into our articles here about the artificial intelligence and the impact it's going to have on society here. And I'll show you how if you're a auditory or visual learner, notebooklm has you covered as well. Okay, so here's where we have some fun with things. This is how I like to learn, so I think this is one of the greatest tools that I've actually come across in all of the AI tools that I've seen. So if we come in and we take a look here, you're gonna see audio overview and video overview. If I hit the little pencil here, you see I can choose different types. So I can do a shorter link, a default, or a longer link. And what this is going to do is either create a deep dive conversation between two hosts, similar to a podcast. And if you're a creative brain like I am, you're already thinking, could I take those podcasts and turn them into something amazing with AI lip sync avatars in HeyGen? The answer is yes, of course you can. But let's go ahead and just create a deep dive here. We'll do a shorter length just so that we can get it done here. You can add any things that you want them to focus on in here, but it will just let it generate naturally. We'll also do a brief here. And for the brief, let's actually change the language and see how it comes out. So we'll do brief in Dutch this time. And then you can do a critique, which is the expert review of your sources, offering constructive feedback to help you improve your material. Could see where that could be beneficial. We'll go ahead and do that, but we'll do a shorter length on that one as well. And then my personal favorite is this thoughtful debate between two hosts, illuminating different perspectives on your sources. So I really like the looking at it from both sides kind of perspective on things. So I really enjoy this debate option that it has here. So I'm going to go ahead and get those all generated. And while those are generating, we'll come over into video overview here. And you can see here that it will create a custom video for you. Again, you can add in anything that you want it to do or anything that you want it to avoid here. And you can also change your language. We're going to leave this in English, and we're going to go ahead and generate that video review here. And we'll come back in just a couple of minutes and look at what was created using these auditory and visual learning tools. Okay, so those have generated now, so let's take a look here. We've got our deep dive first up.
Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take that huge pile of research you flagged, really cut through the noise, and pull out the key insights you need to make sense of, well, the world today.
And today we're tackling a really big one. I mean, it's a question buzzing everywhere.
It really is. Does this explosion in generative AI tools mean, the death of art as we know it? Or is it the start of something completely new, maybe even revolutionary?
So you see, this is 32 minutes and 55 seconds in total here, and it's going to take a deep dive into the resources that I gave it. We've also got that more brief one here.
Welcome
that's
to the
5
deep dive.
minutes and 30
Today,
seconds.
You eventually get a lot of glowing space cats. The average output converges because people ask for easy, satisfying things.
Right, the low-hanging fruit gets picked constantly. But you called it a paradox, so what's the other side?
The other side is that while the average novelty goes down, the maximum content novelty is actually going up.
Ah, okay, so the extremes are getting more extreme.
Exactly. Research.
So you can see where listening to that really breaks down their resources without you having to sit down and read them. So if you're busy, you're on the go a lot, you've got something you can listen to in the car, you've got something you can listen to while you're out for a walk, whatever it might be, you can actually be learning on the go with the audio creation of the material that you get inside of these audio overviews in notebooklm. And here it is in the Dutch.
Hier kommt die Kurzübersicht zum Thema künstliche Intelligenz und Kunst. Also, generative KIs wie
So if you don't want to go through the translating part of the lip sync inside of something like HeyGen, you've got this available where you can share it with a friend who maybe speaks a different language, or if you're learning a different language yourself, this might be a helpful tool to be able to hear sort of a native speech as far as a topic that you're interested in anyway, being able to pick up on words that you know. However you use this, that's up to you. I'm just here to show you how great of a tool it is and different ways you can use it. So we've also got the video overview here. So if you're a visual learner, this is something that could help you out.
Okay, let's dive into one of the biggest, most fundamental collisions of our time: artificial intelligence and human creativity. I mean, this is a debate that is sparking both incredible excitement and, let's be honest, some pretty deep-seated fear. So what's really at stake for the future of art?
And this is the question that's right at the heart of the entire debate. When an AI can create images that rival or maybe even surpass what a human can do, Well, that forces us to stop and really reconsider what art even means in the first place.
I'm sure you've seen them. They are all over your social feeds, right? These hyper-realistic portraits, impossible landscapes, AI-generated images are completely reshaping our visual culture in real time.
If you're looking for something similar to this, but with a little bit more pizzazz, I highly recommend taking your briefing doc and throwing it into Gamma and letting Gamma create a presentation for you as well. Just a way to blend your tools if you want to see that. So I can come in and I can take some of the information, whether it's from the briefing doc or the essay I had it put together. I can take that information, I can hop into Gamma, I can do create a new Gamma, I can do paste in text, put my text right in there, and then I can condense it down and I can generate a 10-card presentation or more if I wanted here. And now we see that it is creating a presentation here that I can visually learn from or share. And the best part, because you know I love showing how all of these tools can work together, is that I can come in and I can actually go ahead and add a card here. I can drop that video right on into the Gamma and have that be a part of the overall presentation so that I could listen to it at the end. And finally, if we come back into the studio for the notebook that we were working on, we can see that one that I said was my favorite here, the debate. If we play that.
Welcome to the debate. So, generative artificial intelligence systems, things like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, the ones everyone's talking about, they've really shaken up the creative fields. It's raising some pretty deep questions about art, what originality even means now, and frankly, the role of human skill.
Yeah, definitely.
And today, we're diving into that core conflict, the one that seems to be splitting the creative world right down the middle. Is generative AI actually enhancing human creativity, pushing the boundaries, or is it inevitably leading us down a path where we lose meaningful originality? That sort of essential human connection we find in art. I'll be arguing that AI is really a creative catalyst here. It boosts output, it opens things up for more people, and it redefines artistic skill, moving it away from just the mechanical side towards the conceptual.
And I'm coming at it from, well, a different angle. While the tech is obviously powerful, no denying that, I think it fundamentally chips away at the very essence of art. By automating key parts like human intent, that inner feeling.
So you can see that there are two opposing views that will debate it out, and I can listen to that and see which side of that debate I lean most towards. Okay guys, so there you have it. One last thing is if you come into notebooklm, you can see some of the feature notebooks that have been put together for you with the different sources. So if you're just wondering how it works or you want to take a look, you can come in and check these out. So if you want to see the fan's guide to visiting Yellowstone, you've got that. They've already uploaded all of these resources and they've already done all of this creation for you over here. You can see it's a public one, so there are a few of those that you can go and explore to understand a little bit more about how it works. I hope you guys are feeling inspired to go learn something new and use notebooklm as a tool to help you be even more efficient, effective, and understand the world around you with the use of this amazing AI tool. If you have an AI tool you'd like us to cover in the near future, go ahead and leave it in the comments. We love hearing from you guys. Or if you want to let us know how you're already using notebooklm, we would love to know that too. Thanks for spending some time with me today, guys. My name's Jessica with the Real AI Agents, and as always, keep looking towards the future.